Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. Before we introduce our special guest, what's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. We were meant to be done with episodes for the year, but we got a special guest with us today, so figured we'd make this happen before the year is up. Side note, Blair survived 3 days of concerts in LA, so we'll bring that up at some point. But definitely excited to have our guest on today. Straight from India, 8:30 in the morning tomorrow, so he's talking to us from the future. Anant, what's good?
Yo, what's good, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. Pleasure to have you on.
Yo, it's great to be here, man. It's nice and early, but I'm awake. I'm good. I'm glad to be, talking to y'all.
Likewise.
Appreciate it. So Blair, let them know what we usually do to get this episode or interviews on the road.
Yeah, just to calm everybody's nerves, allow the fans to get to know you on a more personal level. We like to start off with some icebreakers. So I can kick it off. What's something that you do that you enjoy that people wouldn't expect you to do? Like a hobby?
That's a crazy question, man. I can't be talking about that, bro. No, I'm playing. For real though, like I like going for walks and shit, like just hit the park and go for a walk. I know that sounds real basic, but I take it pretty serious. Like try to do it a couple times a week. Don't listen to music, just, really zone in. Do some meditations while I walk. What else? I guess I could just say like some, like drink green tea, like simple stuff like that, like on that Zen meditative vibe. Like I like doing that. Hit a sauna if I can. So those are things I don't usually talk about too much, but definitely enjoy doing them for sure.
That's dope, because I feel like in this day and age, those basic things, like to you, it might seem simple, but I feel like everyone's forgotten how to do basic things like that. Like I don't know anyone who's like, you know what, I'm going to set aside 20 minutes per day to just like zone out and, revitalize my life or whatever you want to call it. So that's dope.
Yeah, man. The walks feel really good, especially in the morning. And it's crazy out here where I live in New Delhi. It's mad polluted. So you got to like time your walk according to the weather and pollution. You got to be like, I got this window of clean air. Let me go out for a walk. But then you really appreciate it a lot,
Yeah, that's dope.
It's wild when you said the part, because I only started hiking like a few years ago when I visited Cali for the first time. And then I just assumed like, AirPods in, let's go for a walk. But then you're like, bro, like fuck this music, bro. Like I'd rather not have music. Like let me just be one with nature. So like it's funny how like you said, like no music is definitely such like an underestimated thing.
Yeah, man, it really is. The sounds around you and just like, being in nature feels nice. So you usually don't need music. It's a different experience with music too, though, of course.
Oh, for sure. All right, I got a question for you. Say we're at a karaoke bar. What's the go-to song for Anant?
Oh, shit. I don't really do karaoke bars, to be honest, man. But if I did, it'd have to be a rap song. Like, I ain't trying to sing, I'll take some flows. I'll do like a Eminem verse, even if I have to. I'll do some 50 Cent, but definitely not some singing shit, So that's what I would say, bro.
All right, that's a good one. My go-to is Lenny Kravitz. I'm not gonna lie to you, so that's okay.
Nice.
No, I don't mind singing. It's just like way cooler to rap,
No, obviously. For me, Lenny Kravitz, "Fly Away."
Oh,
I've done karaoke 3 times, but that's like it's just that one, bro. And it's awful, but I'm like, bro, it's fine.
Nice. I actually have to go to a karaoke birthday in 2 days, and my go-to song is a singy-songy one, Usher, "Nice and Slow." I tried it once and like somehow I'm able to like hit the pitch good enough to where I don't sound like shitty. So I just choose that song and everything's good. And it's pretty simple. It's like the same fucking 8 words over and over.
Do the karaoke spots y'all go to, do they have rap songs or is it only like...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like some of them are super up to, like they'll have like Post Malone and like a song that came out 2 weeks ago. That's how up to date they are.
Yeah, man.
So that's dope.
That's cool.
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I pretty much do eat one meal, man. I eat the same shit every day, you know.
Right.
I eat like
Must be good.
the regular meal that I try to get in really often, because I'm vegetarian and shit. So like you know, my protein sources are limited or whatever. So the main meal that I eat most days is a shitload of broccoli, like a big ass thing of broccoli, then a lot of eggs, like 4 eggs, some avocado and some toast, and if I'm still hungry, some salad and some soup. So it's like super green and lots of eggs. I feel like after a few days of eating that, you do kind of feel like this is not that tasty anymore.
Right.
It's not as exciting, but it's like a super nutritious meal. Like if I ate that one meal, I don't have to eat all the rest of the day. I'm good, you know? So that's been like pretty much what I've been doing. But aside from that, if it's going by taste, I mean, I feel like I could eat a pizza every day, you know, like if it's a good ass pizza, some New York slices, something like that. New Jersey slices, actually, they're better.
Oh, wow. I've never had
You
a
a wild boy,
Yeah,
bro. You a wild boy for saying that.
Yo, you know it's true,
We're gonna
bro.
get a bunch of
got
dislikes
the real
for that.
pizza. Yo. And the last thing I'd say is what I've been like really enjoying lately is like bowls, you know, like acai bowls, that type thing. We don't have acai out here, but we have a different fruit. So I make like a homemade version of that. Put a bunch of toppings, peanut butter, fucking, you know, bunch of things on top, and granola. That's like really I could eat that every day. I feel so good when I eat that.
Nice, dude.
What about y'all, man? What's your like one meal for the rest of your life?
Rest of your life, bro? Fuck. Dude, honestly, man, it's gonna probably be pizza. Like
Pizza, right?
Yeah, dude, pizza. Like
Pizza
I know
is
it's not
so good,
nutritional
man.
for you, but like at the end of the day, it does have everything you kind of need. Like you have like the carb is gonna fill you up. You have the savory with the marinara sauce and the cheese. Like kind of just has everything you need. You add some good pep on top, like solid.
I remember there was like some debate about like school lunches, and they claimed pizza was like a salad because of the tomato. They were claiming that.
I think I've seen memes and stuff about that too.
Yeah.
I even now, like I eat dim sum pretty much every other day if I can. And the only thing that holds me back is I live in San Francisco, so there's like not really any parking. So if I'm too lazy, I'll just not go. But I can seriously eat that every single day. Like I never.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more before we get into the meat of this. Anant, if you had to host a party or attend a party, which would you prefer?
Yo, I usually, you know, in the past, I've kind of just enjoyed attending parties, like, you know, not really worrying about planning it and stuff. But lately, I've been enjoying hosting them too. Like, it's nice to have people over, set the vibe, you know, get the music right. Whenever we do parties with our homies, someone's always like, you know, playing some music, DJing or something like that. Get the drinks right. So I do enjoy hosting them, man. Definitely. I mean, it's a bit more work, but when you're like finally chilling with everyone, you're like totally comfortable and enjoying it because it's your spot, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like the only thing that can be bad sometimes is if people are like not trying to leave and you're trying to pass out at the end, you know? That's the only bad part where you're like, yo, it's like 5 a.m., man. I got to sleep.
Start playing like whack shit so that people don't want to stick around.
Bro, I'll just stop playing music, you know? Like,
But the drunk dude will
silent.
never leave. No, it doesn't matter how silent
that's
it
true.
is.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I feel like for me, I'd rather attend a party. I've realized since I just got my house like last year, like, bro, like I've been hosting like all the time. And I'm like, fam, this ain't it. Like, yo, this ain't it. Like, man, just the anxiety of like always making sure everyone's happy. You're like, dog, like, we're going on like 5 days straight of this. Like, can we just stop going out? Like, I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, that's true.
I think for me, I like attending more so just because I hate the cleaning up and coordinating. Like if it's a smaller party, I'd say 10 or less people. Like that's kind of my jam because it's just easier to manage. People don't bring random.
Yeah, facts. When it gets like 15, 20, it's like, fuck, bro, that's a lot of people to try to keep engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Like even like on my own birthday, sometimes I dread them because I hate the feeling of like, oh, I need to make sure this person's having a good time. And oh, this person's leaving, like maybe I didn't play the right song like from the get-go. Whereas if you show up, you just show up for a couple of drinks, meet some people, and then dip like whenever you want.
Leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
I saw some stupid ass meme. It was like basically like it said like some study claimed that this person saved 2 days of their life by not saying bye when leaving parties.
Wow.
You know, like just leaving without saying peace. They calculated it. They're like, yo, that was 2 days worth of time that you
That's
saved,
amazing.
you know?
Oh, that's amazing. Sick. All right, now we know. Now we know. Skip saying goodbye, just fucking dip.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we just added a couple of days of fucking life.
But I saw another study, not to drag this on, but
no, go ahead.
It said like there's a whole formula to it. Like I think they call it an Irish goodbye. Like you just dip.
Yeah.
And has to be a certain number of people there for you to not be an asshole. It's like 10 and up. You can like sneak away and like no one's gonna say shit. But if you time it and you're like, I don't know, only 4 or 5 people are there, then it's a dick move, and then you gotta like.
Yeah, you can't dip if there's 4 people, bro. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. You gotta be like I don't even know how you do that, but definitely I feel that point. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the introvert in me, but I feel like even if it was like 4 or 40, like they're gonna see my big ass leave. It's like I have to see my bro.
Right. Yeah.
That's true. I'm the opposite, man. I could really like sneak out, you know, like people won't even know. Like people think I'm going to the bathroom and I'm gone, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, dude. Let's get into it then, bro. We're super happy to have you again. We have Anant, for everyone listening to the pod, goes by Ace, one half of MadStarBase, producer, DJ, businessman, fashion icon, sneaker king. Let's get into it, bro. Thanks again for jumping on, bro.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. It's great to be here, and that was a great intro, man. Thank you.
Yeah. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of who you are and everything that you do, just wanted you to give the listeners a short and sweet snapshot of who Ace is and what you represent.
Cool. Totally, of course. So Ace is basically, you know, the moniker, the name that I use for, you know, my music projects. It's sort of become a nickname since like high school, I guess. And yeah, I guess so. Back in high school, I started making beats, you know, on my computer and stuff, learned how to use softwares, got a keyboard, wasn't really trained musically, but just figured it out. And it sort of became an activity that a couple friends and I would do together. So there was a small crew of us, and we'd all make beats. And I just kept doing that, you know, like couple summers spent, you know, just making a lot of beats every day. It was a really fun activity at the time. I was young, so it was like almost felt magical. Like, yo, this is crazy. You can make a beat with a computer, you can make a song, and without even knowing music theory, you know, you're just like drawing in notes, bro. When I started, I was literally drawing in random shapes into the, you know, if you've ever seen like a software, how the, you know, it's like a sideways piano, just drawing shapes and stuff. So that's literally how it started. I'd be catching some cool rhythms. I listened to a lot of rap music growing up. So, you know, that's kind of the style I was producing in. And then over time, you know, I got into, I took it a bit more seriously in college. I met a lot of people who were making music really seriously or part of bands or whatever. So I kept doing my thing, learned a lot. And, you know, we can talk about all those different phases, but now basically, I'm here in India. I moved back home after, you know, a couple years in Philadelphia. And basically, you know, my friend Neal and I, we both have been, you know, pushing this MadStarBase project, which is basically the two of us. There's a couple more people we work with as well, but here in India, there's two of us, and we do shows. So we DJ. We've been putting out a bunch of releases. A couple came out, you know, very recently, and yeah, just working on a lot of like music projects for different things, including, you know, some film stuff and all of that. So It's really all just about making music, collaborating with artists out here and who we know, and doing live shows, which is a more recent thing. Like back in high school, I didn't really DJ and stuff. So those are the kind of elements of what we're doing out here.
That's
musically, at least musically.
Yeah, that's sick. That's when you say films, like is that the latest venture, or is that something you guys been working on for a couple years now?
Yo, I've always like thought it'd be cool to, you know, be able to produce music to use for scoring or whatever. It's not as easy as it seems, but out here there's been some interest in what we're doing, because one of the projects that got us a lot of attention out here, we took classic songs from Bollywood films, you know, from the 80s and 90s, and just classic tunes out here in India that everyone knows. And we kind of just, you know, added a big bass, drums, and made them like club ready, so they fit in our set. So we're, you know, if we're playing hip hop, we're playing whatever, we could drop one of these songs and it fits within the set. And what was cool about that is, like, I guess, like, you know, everyone here knows these songs, but then hearing it in that context, you're at like a, you know, a small bar or club. It's a, you know, alternative music kind of event, and you hear this stuff. So it really caught on. People really liked it. And so eventually what we did, we dropped that whole project as like a collection of remixes, and we called it Mollywood. So Bollywood is like, you know, usually what it's like one of the biggest film industries out here. There's actually a couple regional ones based on language. We called it Mollywood because it was meant to be like, I mean, it's party music, you know, people. Right. So it was like a little reference to Molly, you know, like taking Molly and shit. It was just a little joke, but anyways, the name caught on, the whole project caught on. Sick. And so we did 2 of those releases. Then more recently, you know, we've been a couple people have hit us up about, you know, they're making a film and, you know, they want to use either one of the songs we've already put out or commission us to do a remix because they have the rights to certain songs. So that's been the project. It happened kind of organically. We weren't really you know, seeking that out, but it's been pretty cool to explore.
That's amazing, dude.
Nice.
Congrats, bro.
Yeah. I feel like organic, when things like that happen, it must be an incredible feeling, because it's not like you're asking the universe to bring those things to you. You just did it out of passion, and then everything kind of falls together. But speaking of Mollywood, that kind of sounded like a super dope like subgenre to me. So that leads me to my next question is, what do you feel like you fall under a particular genre, or if people ask you, like, how would you define it? Because when I listen to the music you guys have created, it sounds super dope, but it doesn't sound like one single thing. So I was just curious.
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I would say that obviously it's, you know, mostly influenced by hip hop and rap music. But in terms of, you know, the Mollywood project, I would say it's, you know, trap beats kind of. Like there's a big, you know, 808 or drums. We don't actually do too much to the song. We don't try to overproduce it, because the whole value of the song is people love singing. It's on some karaoke type shit, you know? Yeah. Like these are the songs people out here would sing in karaoke spots. So we just try to make it something you could rock to, something you could dance to. In that sense, you could call it just dance music. But yeah, I feel like, you know, we're not really afraid to go to different tempos, different styles. Both Neal and I listen to a lot of stuff. So, you know, we'll listen to house music. We'll listen to maybe even some techno music sometimes, a lot of different types of electronic music. But I guess like, yeah, a lot of, you know, his musical roots, Neal's musical roots, if I think back to what he was listening to in high school, a lot of reggae, dub music, Punjabi music, which is like, you know, a region in India, but I feel like Punjabi music stands on its own in some sense. So that's kind of his roots. And, you know, as Daniel knows, like I've been listening to rap since way back. So I like lyrical rap. I like really good beats. So that's what it is. But also there's like a really interesting kind of subculture that we're sort of, you know, we've been observing and we're tapped into over here, where people are like making music that's like all different types of genres. You know, you'll see, like I was saying, there'll be really good, you know, dubstep producers, there'll be really good techno producers, house music, and so disco. So open and listening to all that stuff, and then channeling whatever ideas and whatever inspiration into new tracks, even if it's like not necessarily, you know, the tempos or styles that you would associate with rap music.
Nice. And then just to Anand's point, because Roy skipped over this in the beginning. So Anand referenced, so Anand and I actually grew up together in New Delhi. When I moved from New York to India, we went to rival high schools together. But we became
we bridged the rivalry, man.
We bridged the rivalry, bro. We were like fucking the olive branch, like, bro, I want to be friends with you. So I would probably know Anand. You're 31 now? 32. Yeah, dude, I'm 33, so I probably know Anand going on close to 17 years, right? That's pretty fucking wild crazy if you think about it, right? So it's been cool to see from obviously a beginning stage. I remember coming over to watch N1 mixtapes, and you would show me your computer and like what you're working on. I'm like, bro, like how do you even have this? Like, what's the fuck's going on? So, like,
what is this?
What is this shit, dude? But to now where you're at now at 32, obviously shit's like booming right now. What do you currently enjoy the most? Is it you and Neal in the lab just like figuring it out, or actually being at a party and like, or an event and like DJing and just being in control of that entire vibe?
Dude, that's such a good question, man. Cause I ask myself that sometimes, you know, and I try to think about it's a whole different experience, because back in the day, you know, the time you were referencing when we used to kick it in high school and stuff, you know, we'd be listening to beats in the car, we'd be kicking flows. And I used to love just showing people beats, hearing their reactions and vibing with them, you know. People would be like, you know, if you're into rap, if you're a rapper and you're kicking flows, that's always really exciting. And I remember just like every weekend, you know, at least a couple hours, you know, I'd be with homies and we'd be in the lab trying to make something, just putting ideas down, exploring the software. And that continued, you know, like I said, even through college, I was doing a lot of that in the lab with different people, collaborating, working on new stuff. The shows became a thing when I moved back to India. So my brother, he started a clothing brand, and basically, you know, it was like an e-commerce type thing. They didn't have a store. This was like back in 2012. They didn't like do a lot of marketing and stuff like that. So they wanted back then to find ways to connect with their customers and the community. So they started doing events. Like they'll just invite everyone they know, couple, you know, 100 people, 150 people. And they asked Neal and I to play the music. Neal had been DJing in college. Like he actually learned how to like play on vinyl, you know, like on turntables. So he brought in that experience, but we didn't have any equipment. So we're out here like, you know, using production equipment to DJ and stuff, random stuff. But the feeling we got when we were rocking a show was totally different. It's so cool to see the energy the crowd has and how they react. And, you know, in that moment, you're just having a lot of fun. So we were having a lot of fun. I think at the time, there wasn't anyone really playing that sound that we were playing. And so we started getting like booking requests, like, you know, spots or parties would try to book us. We were like, yo, let's do this then, you know, that's cool. And now I would say, obviously with, you know, the past 2 years, shows have been, you know, off for a while, starting again more recently. But I still really enjoy doing shows. I love it a lot. It's, you know, there's still a lot to learn, even in terms of how to be a good performer. And actually, Neal and I just did a tour recently, and we can get into that too. It was really interesting learning experience. But with all that said, I still feel like the thing I enjoy the most, if I had to choose, is being in the lab, producing stuff, creating stuff. It just gets enhanced a lot when you get the chance to play music in front of people, see their reaction. If you made a song and you play it and you can see how people react to it, how people move, it can be encouraging. It could be discouraging too. Sure. You know, you could be like, yo, I fucked the song up.
This ain't it.
Exactly.
I'm glad you brought up reactions, because that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about. How does that influence the way you manage your sets or go into the lab and create songs? Like, do you find yourself like, fuck, that last song wasn't hitting like it should have, like I need to add better drums or sample this time? And is that annoying to you, feeling compelled to satisfy the crowd and not necessarily yourself?
Yo, it's a struggle. I think like all performers, face over time, because if you listen to a lot of music, you have a certain taste. You want to share that taste with the crowd. The crowd's coming in with a completely different mindset. They might just be there to party. They might just be there to meet girls or whatever it is. They don't give a fuck about your musical taste, dog. They're just like, yo, I'm trying
fuck this vibe, bro.
Yeah.
So that's how it can be, and it can be a struggle, like, until you kind of get it and find the balance. But when you do find the balance, I mean, for Neal and I, we've realized, like, as much as we might like have a set of songs that we really want to play, a lot of times our job is to get people on the dance floor. And so we embrace that. I like doing that. And sometimes there's nothing you can do, like I was just saying, we did this tour and it was 3 cities. So we were expecting the 3rd city, Goa, to really be something where, the crowd would bring the energy. And no matter what we were doing, it just felt dead. And It wasn't us. I totally, because I saw in the past 2 shows how it went. We did everything we could. We played the best set we could. We gave them hits, but everyone was kind of dead. So when that happens, I think there's no there's no point in feeling bad. It's like we just kind of did what we could, got off stage, enjoyed the rest of the night. So there's moments like that too. But I think like the more experience you get, the better your like understanding and relationship is to like you just remember that you can put in the best inputs, prepare the best, play the best set, bring the best energy, but you can't always control the output. So like
whatever happens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that. I wonder if the Goa thing, so if people who haven't been to Goa, definitely go to Goa. But you think, is it more because of fucking like Goa is like where people really are on Molly and they want a whole different kind of music? Like, is that what it is?
Yo, but we gave them some stuff that I feel like everyone would have enjoyed. It's like, here's the thing. So like the tour we went on, we were the opening act for this artist, AP Dillon. He's this Punjabi guy who lives in Vancouver, and he's kind of blown up in the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So it was his first tour in India. So he's coming, everyone's mad excited. And yeah, I remember when we did our first show on this tour, it was in Delhi. So that was like hometown. It was a huge state, like a huge outdoor venue. Apparently there was like 8,000 people there, which was, I mean, our biggest show as well, so,
Facts.
He pulled the crowd, but we were using it to like really, just display MSB and our music. So the minute we start, the first song we play, everyone starts chanting AP, like other guy's name, So it's like, yo, we didn't even play one song yet. So then Neal and I are like panicking kind of, because we had this whole set prepared and we had to basically call an audible, just change the whole vibe. But the good thing was another one of our homies who as well, Mo City, he was the MC that night. So he's like, yo, turn down the music. And he basically took that opportunity to explain to the crowd what we were trying to do. We were the opening artists. We were here to warm it up, build the energy. And, he explained it really nicely to everyone. Maybe not nicely. I feel like he was a bit aggressive, but it helped because like people tuned in and the rest of the set went really well.
Nice. Shout out to Mo City, aka Shorty, friend of the pod. We'll probably get him on in the next year, God
That'd
willing.
Be great.
So question to you, bro, because again, I feel like when we were growing up in Delhi, like hip hop was like a niche thing almost. Like if you went to an international school or if you had like if your family was from the States, like that was dope to you when there was like a hip hop night random, like once a week in the city, right? But I feel like right now, which is dope to see from afar, and obviously me and Blair will definitely come visit and see one of your shows, but it seems like you guys are at the forefront of this shit now, like pioneers. Like, do you feel that way? Or is like, like how do you embrace like where hip hop is right now in Delhi and in India, obviously?
It's in an interesting place, man. I mean, like you said, there's always been like a kind of niche subculture appreciation of hip hop. We've been tapped into that at least. since the beginning and pioneering it in our own ways. You know, we used to in India, like for your listeners who don't know, in India, it's one of those countries where you can get into a club when you're 14. Like no one's checking out.
Yeah, if you got money, you get it in. A little bit.
Yeah, we used to hit the club when we were 14, which sounds crazy, but in some ways it was cool because by the time we got to college, we weren't, you know, we had been around.
Yeah, shit wasn't overwhelming at all, dog. Like, especially me, like, I know how I was in Philly, but like Miami, dog, like, I could have lost my mind. And I was like, bro, this is basic as fuck, bro. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, so we had that opportunity, but what was interesting is hip hop is usually like a culture that's not, you know, necessarily about the clubs and stuff. It's about everything else. There's so many elements to it. So it was funny that hip hop to us back then, you know, the only place aside, I mean, it did exist in the friend circles and the communities. There was b-boying, there was graffiti, there was a lot of those things. But where we expressed ourselves most was in the club. You know, we'd be at like nice clubs doing hip hop shows and stuff like that. So that's what it was. And then I think since then a couple interesting things happened, but maybe the biggest, or you know, the one worth mentioning is that Bollywood embraced hip hop. They ran out of ideas. I don't know what happened, but they basically made a film. Like you could call it like the Indian 8 Mile. They made the Indian 8. Yeah. So they, you know, told the story of this rapper, you know, from the slums of Bombay, you know, like Slumdog Millionaire type environment, who came up and became a successful rapper. And so that put it on the map, I think, out here for the, like, you know, wider audience. So now I don't think it like, I mean, I think it did a lot of things, but the main thing was there was a lot of smaller hip hop movements. India has, you know, a lot of different languages. So people were rapping in all kinds of languages, doing all kinds of things. And I think this definitely brought people's attention to what was going on. And now you can see there's like a lot of artists that are emerging and stuff like that. For us, for MadStarBase, I think we're, you know, working with like established artists like Risk, and we're also working with new artists and just, you know, trying to provide beats and work with anyone who we think has potential and wants to work with us. So that's kind of been our role in the scene, aside from the shows and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Amazing.
Nice. And out of curiosity, what's like the general content of some of the more popular artists in India, as far as like what they talk about? And because I know, at least in America, I mean, we already know what a lot of the mainstream stuff talks about.
Yeah.
Like drugs, sex, whatever, you name it. Just curious if over there it's a different sort of thing.
Yo, I mean, you have to keep in mind, like, hip hop was definitely, you know, born in New York, and everything that we, like, people here have is like what they've observed through YouTube, through, you know, just pop culture, whatever. So a lot of it you could see is like, you know, borrowed. I think there are people who are innovating and doing their own thing, because when you rap in a different language, it's a whole, you know, it sounds different. So a lot, you know, there's a lot of stuff I honestly don't even understand if it's in other languages. But I would say for a while, it felt like it was all about like the trap beats and aggressive flows.
Okay.
Like you're angry or something. Now I think it's definitely more diverse. And I think like the stuff that the stuff we've been working on, which I think is really cool, is we just released a track. It's called Sanskari Ho. And
I was just going to ask you about that one.
Yeah, we could talk about that, man. It's pretty interesting. So Sanskari means like traditional, someone who's like traditional, who like fulfills their duties, you know, like maybe in this context, you would think of Sanskari as like a good housewife.
Yeah, like the Stepford wife, like a housewife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then
ready to go. Yeah.
After it is like, wait, what? What are you talking about? So the reason we did that, so the song is we work with this artist who's based actually in the Bay Area as well. She's in San Francisco. She's originally from Fiji, so she has like, you know, Indian descent. And the song is in Hindi, like one of the local languages here, and English. It's a mix. So she's spitting bars too, like she's got a really nice flow. And basically she's just like, you know, going all out, talking about like sexuality, talking about her body, talking about being, she's basically, I guess the point is that like, for her, you know, she's like, I can be open about my sexuality. Right. I can, you know, be sanskari, I can be a hoe, all of that shit, which, you know, it's not like I mean, we got a lot of artists in the US and around the world that are doing that, but to do it here,
right, that's the wild part, right? Because we make fun of like, you know, like WAP and Megan Thee Stallion doing that shit because we're kind of used to it, right? We've been seeing that with Little Kim since we were children. It was wild when I heard that song yesterday at the gym, and I was like, oh, this is fucking insane. So like, I wanted to ask you, like how was the response from that locally? Because to hear an Indian woman spitting bars like that, because I think there's one line, which again, I thought the song was fire. Production was A1 by you guys. But I think she has one line where it's like, you can spit in my mouth as long as you don't have corona. And I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And then she goes, I don't know if, she has, I feel like it's written really well. Like
very well, yeah.
She really came correct with the bars. And the crazy thing is, if you know Hindi, then you catch all the punchlines. There's a couple like, there's some good wordplay and punchlines that you will miss if you don't know Hindi. But even the English bars are good, and she sounds cool. She sounds sexy. So,
was there like pushback to like hear that? Because I feel like because this is how I felt. You can tell me like obviously like it was crazy. Because I remember like when I was growing up in Delhi, it's like we like Indian culture will accept like the craziness from like America and the UK, but we're not trying to have our people act that way. Yeah. So was there any pushback when like people heard like an Indian person saying this on a song?
Yo, honestly, I think it hasn't gotten enough exposure yet to get that pushback. But I mean, yeah, I think definitely there could be like, if it, you know, depends who hears it and what. There's been a little bit like on the Instagram comments, someone said something funny. They're like, exactly what you just said. They're like, yo, I don't want to mess the comment up. You guys should read it. But essentially it was about like let American women and other women be hoes, but don't let our Sansari Indian women be called hoes. And then Fijiana, the artist, the rapper, she commented, she's like, I'm American. You know, she wrote that as a reply. Like, don't worry, I'm American.
That's dope.
That's great, dude.
Yeah. I got to show it to my brother's actually half Indian, and he swears he speaks Hindi. So I got to show him the song and see if he understands it. But I'm sure he knows what'd you say? The woman's called not her name, but like the song again.
Oh, Sanskari. Sanskari
yeah.
is like,
I'm sure he knows what that is.
It's not a word you hear too much, but like I said, it has to do with like being traditional and stuff. So the title itself packs a lot of meaning. And yeah, I mean, if you read the write-up, it's like she goes in depth about like being, you know, brown women being able to express themselves in this way, because if society is, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things you could get into about society here, but just in terms of how women, you know, are expected to behave, this is definitely something that's pushing back on that.
Which is amazing. Yeah, push those boundaries like crazy. So question for like, I want to get this at some point, because obviously I know you guys love the production part of this. And I've just been intrigued because obviously we'll get into this later, but Blair also makes music. So I've been able to learn about his approach, like creating the lyrics itself. But when you're on the production side, like how much input, like, cause you've had some pretty dope collabs thus far. Like how much input are you guys giving on the context of the music? Or are you just like giving them the production and saying, yo, do your thing. Like, let's see what happens.
Well, for this track, we sent Fijiana like a pack of beats, you know, like a folder with a couple beats. And I think she just like really vibed to this one. So I remember like 2 years ago or something, she made a TikTok video where she just rapped this verse to the beat playing in the background. And the shit went viral. Like, so it was like a good sign that people were fucking with it. Mm-hmm. So then, I mean, yeah, releasing music takes a while because it's like, you know, you can get into like really small details. You can go like Ye on it, how he did with his recent album, you know? You're like, yo, I need to change that snare. Like, you know, like, it's like what? No one cares.
No one cares.
In that track, she wrote the whole thing. Like she really, it inspired some really cool ideas. And she actually made a music video too, which is going to drop soon. So
no.
if anything, the music video might cause more waves than the song. You know, she went hard on the video.
Nice.
Neal and I aren't in it. It's just her, you know.
Just
Don't expect to see us doing anything crazy. But yeah, I guess like the process can, with risk. So my cousin's a rapper, and you know we do a lot of stuff with him. I sit down and do writing sessions with him. So we'll, like, you know, if we had a crazy night, come back to the crib, chill, put on one of the beats from, you know, a folder of beats that Neal and I have prepared or whatever. Choose one, give ourselves 20 minutes each, and we both write a verse. I mean, his is usually, I mean, not usually, always way better. But if I have any lines that are cool, or, you know, I'll share them with him, and then we'll workshop it. We've done a little bit of that, but otherwise, I think we're pretty hands off. You know, we'll give feedback like, yo, this shit's not sounding good. Can you try it again? Or can you replace this? But a lot of times the people we work with, it's more like, we're here to bring, you know, your sound out and, like, you know, facilitate your, you know, expression as an artist.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's great insight and a great segue to my next question, and something that I actually saw recently on Instagram. So Russ, he did an interview and essentially blamed producers for quote unquote shitty music nowadays. I guess you could think of like what people call mumble rap. So I was curious on your take with that. Like, do you think producers making certain beats that sound a certain way is responsible for the artist being like, okay, well, this sounds like something in which the lyrics would be this, versus the artist being responsible for coming up with that stuff in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of like whack or stupid shit out there. So if you try to diagnose the problem and you blame the producers, that's some weak shit, bro. Like, producers didn't write the fucking lyrics. Because you could have a really basic, I could literally just have a kick and a clap. And if there's a skilled, you know, MC or vocalist,
they'll make that shit fire. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need a beat. We heard like rappers just rapping acapellas, and if the lyrics are good, you're just listening because it's so good. So, I mean, I guess you could say that, but the thing is, like, producers, the sound, like, you guys remember when The Baby came out? He had a certain sound to his music, to his beats, the way the 808s were and all that.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, because that became trending, I think a lot of producers started making beats like that. So I feel like producers are just, I mean, dude, you know this as well. Like, you're sitting there and it's easy to just bang out a couple ideas. And you're not really like, if you're just producing beats, you're not really trying to say, I'm trying to shape the sound of the industry or anything. You're just like, here's a couple beats, some ideas. And then the vocalist, the artist, is the one who I think has to, like, you know, take that and take it into a certain direction.
Be inspired by that shit.
Yeah. So I wouldn't agree with that. I would say the best thing, though, in my opinion, is where there can be a really good synergy between the producer and the artist, where the producer's like, your, you know, the lyrics, the rap, all the singing, whatever it is, that's your expression, but I want to help you bring it out. I want to coach you through it. So, like, in a good example is Kenny Beats. I don't know if y'all know him, but he does a really good job with that, I feel like.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite producers out nowadays. And I totally agree with you. It is up to the artist to bring the lyrics. That's why they're even on it in the first place and getting credit. And I feel like it's a lazy excuse for someone to be like, well, this beat is kind of like repetitive with heavy drums, so now I gotta talk about pussy all of a sudden. Like, you can sit there and take a little more time to, like, rap about something meaningful. Just because the beat's hot doesn't mean it has to be dumbed down, in my opinion.
I agree
100%. And then just because you brought up The Baby, and there was a moment in time that The Baby, like, took over music, which was fire. And I remember you were doing a set at Neal's wedding when we were in Portugal, and you had, like, a lot of The Baby, like, in your set, right? So I'm wondering, obviously, like, when you're doing a show in India, anywhere in India or wherever, like, what is an American, like, an artist that you just love to fucking bring that person's music and incorporate it into your, like, more Bollywood theme stuff as well?
I would say that the sets tend to usually be, depends where we're playing, but we try to build the set around hip hop and then find places to put the Mollywood or Bollywood type stuff. But sometimes you know, like I said, you call audible, you got to go 45 minutes of Bollywood, you know? And it sounds like funny to say, but honestly, the way it sounds is all like, even if you don't listen to Bollywood, you could vibe to it because it's good beats and stuff. But an artist that I like playing at, I really like playing A$AP Ferg, man. He's one of my favorite. Like, I don't know why, the energy he has on tracks is so nice. But I would say that his recent stuff's not been the most fire. Like, he did a song with Pharrell. So I was like, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that didn't live up to it.
Yeah.
It didn't hit for me, man. But he's one of those artists though, like, if his songs for a while were just always like working in our sets.
Totally. And I feel like he's also like that nice, prior to like recent stuff, that it was a nice blend of like old age hip hop skills, but from a younger artist. Like that's the shit that we weren't getting for a while. So I could definitely see that.
Yeah. But not like Dave East or something, Yo,
fuck Dave East. This is an anti-Dave East establishment.
He hates Dave East.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to be left out of that.
One of our first episodes that ever went like viral, when we got like the most likes, it was like me shitting on David East for like 5 minutes.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't play his stuff in my sets, bro. No one wants to hear that,
Yeah. I feel like Dave East isn't even that kind of artist. He's definitely more like niche hip New York, like,
shit you get high to, bro. Like shit you just sit on a couch and just get high to.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not even that. It's shit you skip when it comes on your playlist.
That's great. I just have one funny thing, just because I want, going back to you DJing, and again, you having to call audibles.
Yeah.
How much do you hate the DJ requests? Like, could you please play this song?
Oh, it's bad, bro.
Like, you want to slap somebody?
Yo, man, you know what's funny? Sometimes it's so shocking that you're just stunned. Like, you don't even know it.
What the fuck do you listen to? Like
Britney Spears, oops,
example.
I did it again.
What's that?
I said Britney Spears, oops, I did it again.
Yo, you know what's funny though? Like, Neal is really good at getting edits. So like, we have this Britney Spears toxic edit, which is like Travis Scott, like a Travis Scott song blended up. So you start it and everyone's like, the toxic intro is kind of catchy. That's actually a Bollywood song they sampled in the.
Really?
Oh, I think I saw something like that on Instagram where they broke down samples and stuff.
Yeah. So it plays, everyone's like, oh shit, they're playing this song, what the fuck? And then it drops with the Travis Scott verse and everyone goes crazy. So we do funny stuff like that. We, we'll just random SoundCloud edits. We really dig deep into SoundCloud and find like funny versions or cool versions of songs that sound good when you're partying. The funny requests. Oh shit, dude. So this is way back in the day when in Delhi, actually, like when in high school, when we used to do shows with my cousin and with Mo City and all. So my cousin was about to rap. He was about to get on the mic, and he's like waiting on the side. I can't remember who was DJing at the time. As he's waiting, he's about to get on, start his he used to do like half an hour, 15, 20 minutes of performance. This woman comes up to him and she's pregnant and she's like, yo, I got a request. And he's like trying to get in the zone because he's about to go perform. He's like, why the fuck are you telling me? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, can you play Lonely or Mr. Lonely by Akon? And he's like, what the fuck? What? He's like, why are you here? You're pregnant. Like, what are you doing? And why are you requesting this song? So people will say funny stuff like that, man. People will even like try to, give you a tip to play their request, which is funny, So that's how it is. But I think,
that's everywhere though. That shit happens in Miami. Like that shit happens everywhere.
Yeah. I've heard a request where someone's like, can you play one good song? They're like, can you just play one good song? Like all the shit is black. Can you play one good song?
Damn, bro.
So people are crazy, man.
But I feel like that just comes with the territory again. Like I feel like I know that it's a movement happening now, which is beautiful to see. But you're gonna again go to certain markets that they don't know any of this shit you're playing, and it's just gonna happen at this stage at least.
Yeah.
I actually did a little bit of DJing in college, not with the vinyl. I don't even necessarily want to call it DJing because it was just like a playlist on my computer. But there were a lot of drunk people that came up to me nonstop asking me to play their song. But it got to a point where I just said, yeah, okay, in a couple songs, and then they just would leave me alone. And they were probably too drunk to remember. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. So,
bro.
Yeah.
People make the craziest requests.
Right. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you though is, what at any point, it sounds like you've been doing this for a long time, but at any point did you say to yourself like, this shit is exhausting, I want to quit or take a break? Or has it been like just a smooth ride in terms of motivation, like ever since high school?
That's a good question, man. I mean, I've definitely taken breaks, like even for a long time. Like there's been times where for a month, 2 months, I'm not really like making any beats, doing any shows. Maybe not even listening to a lot of new music, but I feel like, yeah, it's pretty. So I have a pretty long commute to work. I do like 40 minutes each way. So I try to build in a routine where, you know, I mean, it's not like it takes a lot of effort, but my routine is to use at least one of those rides to like find new music, listen to, mixes, like DJ sets, and hear what's out there. So I try to stay in touch, but there have been times where I take a break. I mean, my full-time job involves a lot of different things. You know, it's pretty much the opposite of what I do on the music side. So it can be a lot where I'm just like, yo, I can't be thinking about so many things and I'm not inspired to make beats or whatever. But I guess what helps is like, because I started so early, I had the chance to slowly build the skills to get the exposure and practice. So even if I step back and take a break, obviously, you could be using that time to learn and grow, but I feel like the time away gives you like more, inspiration sometimes. Like if I'm spend a week or two just focusing on work, I'm in the office, in the factory doing my thing. Then when I do get a moment to say, okay, it's time to make a beat, all the ideas start flowing. There's a creative explosion. So that's one good thing about it.
100%.
That's dope. I mean, do you see yourself, because obviously, dude, like you're like a modern day Renaissance man with all the shit you got going on. Do you see yourself like trying to make this a full-time thing, or you're grateful to be able to do so many things at once?
I mean, yeah, it's tough. I think like doing all these things is pretty important. I can't really, it would be hard for me to like stop doing other, like if there's like 4 things I'm doing, it would be hard to say, do one of these and leave the other 3 alone. Because what's beautiful about the situation as it is right now is, fortunately, my full-time work covers from a livelihood point of view, I'm focusing on business and running, helping run a successful business. So then when it comes to music, obviously with shows and all of that, there's like fees involved and it's a business in itself. So we take that part seriously, but we don't have to be, driven just by that. We can be driven by the passion and the creativity. So it does give a nice balance, but I don't think I have any plans to say I'm gonna do this full time or take time off. I would like to have the flexibility where if it's like this project, I need a month to just focus on it, or I want to go on this tour, it would be nice to have that flexibility. But right now it's still a little tricky to figure out what that would look like.
Yeah, it probably just keeps it like, again, it's dope that you guys are expanding like crazy, like MSB, but it probably just also keeps things fun, right? Like this shit's fun.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like, it's like, I feel there's something that comes across, like even if you have the best paying job in the world, it sometimes just feels like a fucking job. Whereas it seems like talking to you and like obviously observing it is just like an absolute fucking passion that you guys just also happen to make, you could make a living off it if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's it, man. Exactly.
And has that given you the luxury of like refusing any offers to do things that have come through musically? Like, hey, we want you to do this show, and you're like, it's not a fit. Or like this artist wants to do something, you're like, it just doesn't make sense, so we're not going to do it.
Bro, we've become pros at like rejecting offers. Like our management hates us, they were like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? And we're like, yo, we'll do a show when it's the right one, So the other thing is, so Neal is a recent father. He's got a baby who's like a year and a couple months now.
Nice.
So shout out to Ari, his kid. And it's like it's hard then to go on tours and stuff. They figured out a really good balance, so we are able to do shows, but we are rejecting a lot of offers. And I think because COVID stuff has improved, a lot of venues are like trying to make up by booking a lot of artists and doing a lot of shows. So there's like this explosion, which, you know, means a lot of opportunities come our way, including honestly playing weddings. Like a lot of people started reaching out to us to play at their wedding, like a special 1 hour set or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, they'll compensate you well, but a lot of times it's not the best experience, because at a wedding, there's that entitlement. Like, it's my wedding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play what I want.
Play this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Play that Dave East.
Yeah, yo.
Which makes you wonder why
funny,
people don't
bro.
just do what I did. Just fucking have a laptop up there and make your own list and press play.
Yo, man, that's true, bro. That's true. But I feel like we've now understood and tried to make clear that if you're booking MSB for a wedding, let us come do our thing. It's just an hour. Then you can go back and play your commercial, like top 100 stuff. Don't expect us to do that, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but when we feel like that's not the case or whatever, we're happy to say, yo, we can't do this wedding. Sounds great. Have a good time, whatever.
Yeah, that's sick,
nice.
dude. That's sick. So question for you though. So obviously, like, you use that the drive to work to find new music. What's like the top 5 things you've been playing recently on your iPhone?
Yo, I might have to just take a quick look and check.
Let's check, bro.
Yeah. Cause I use Spotify a lot just because it's super convenient. I do think like a lot of their stuff, like, I don't know, I feel like the Spotify rap stuff is kind of annoying, you know? There's some things.
You mean like Rap Caviar and stuff like that?
Rap Caviar, I go there sometimes just to check, but it feels like the playlist sometimes can just be like pay to.
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah,
I can't get any of my shit on there ever.
Yo, that's the thing. As soon as a song gets playlisted, that's how you get a lot of plays. So, and it's not clear how that happens. So it's confusing, man.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but it seems like every artist I've seen in like the New Music Friday one, at least, which I always tune into, like 99% of them are on a major label, and every now and then I'll send Danny like a couple artists that are like just coming up, and I feel like those guys are like the luck of the draw.
Yeah, man, exactly. It's the luck of the draw, exactly. So, okay, I'm looking at. I just have like a long ass list of likes that I jump into. I have a couple playlists and stuff, but there's what's it called? This James Blake song. He dropped a new album recently.
That was fire. Yeah, like 2 months
so
ago,
he had
right?
that song with SZA, which I really liked. I just been hearing that on loop a lot. My homies, one of my homies who I met in college, David Marston, he's got a group called Deja Villa. So it's like they make really cool music. It's like he's Jamaican, so is the other, like the singer in the group, and they make, so it's like Jamaican music in terms of like, you know, them being Jamaican, but the sound is very electronic. So it's like, imagine like more electronic or house music even with those types of flows, which is a really, really dope combination. So I've been listening to their new track quite a bit. And then K Tronada to drop something new. I liked his project.
Nice.
And I definitely got to mention the Silk Sonic project, man. That's been,
dude, I haven't peeped. Everyone's talking to me about that shit. I haven't peeped it yet. I gotta peep that one this summer. This break.
The single, like the Smoking Out the Window, is just like so catchy, man. I can't stop listening to it.
I mean, they made that moment where Anderson .Paak is like paying this bitch's rent like a meme, like instantly. No, that's just like all over my timeline. I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking check this shit out.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when it's too like spoon fed to me, like on Instagram and like TikTokers are doing it, then it makes me like not want to tune in, even though I know it's like good. I just feel like there's like this machine that's secretly like, yo, Blair, you got to tune in and love this shit.
Right. That's how I feel about Silk Sonic. Cause like, I know this shit's going to be good, like on a different level good, but like, does it make sense for those two to even be together? I'm sure when I listen to it, I'll be like, yeah, it does. But that one just feels very manufactured, like, hey, let's collab because it's going to be fire kind of a thing, which again, we should be grateful as like fans, but I'm just like, bro, like this doesn't seem like organic to me.
I think it is organic, man. That's what's crazy. You would think it isn't because the thing, Bruno Mars is like a super pop star, right?
Right. Anderson .Paak really doesn't have that crazy worldwide recognition. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And Anderson .Paak has like, you know, like he knows what's up, right? Like he listens to all the shit that's like in the subculture, and like he like, you know, works with like knowledge on a project, and then he'll go and do this and do that. So he's like really on the forefront of like alternative or underground music, but him working with someone who's such a big pop star like Bruno Mars is just crazy, because firstly, Bruno Mars is an amazing singer, right? He sings so well. And then Anderson .Paak comes in with the cool ass vibes, you know, the cool flow, the lyrics. So when you combine that, amazing production, really good singing, cool flows and lyrics, and then you give it the push, like the marketing push that pop artists get, that's why it feels a bit manufactured. But honestly, I would say watch the video for Smoking Out the Window, because it's so funny. You can tell they're just like, the energy between them is really
vibing.
Good. Yeah, and apparently this whole thing started because Anderson .Paak was like part of Bruno Mars's tour, so they'd be kicking it backstage. And apparently there were a couple songs where Bruno Mars was like, you know that song by Anderson .Paak, Come Down, I think it's called? Or there are a couple songs where he's like, yo, that should have been my song. Like, y'all should have wrote that for me. So they have like a funny like relationship.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, I would say give it a chance, man.
I'll give it a chance for sure. I just haven't been like looking for it. That's all. But I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
So again, obviously you've had a couple cool collabs with people. I know a person I'm a big fan of. I know you work with. I don't know if you guys have made music with him just yet, or hasn't been released. Drew Vandal from Netherlands. You worked with him a few years ago. So one, how was that experience? And do you have someone you guys are trying to like? You would love to work, like your dream collab?
I haven't thought about dream collab in a while. I mean, we used to like, you know, think about all the artists around the world who we could reach out to and send beats to. More recently, it's been more like the artists out here that in our community that we want to work with, and that's been more the focus. Drew Vandal was really cool because we there was a party happening in Delhi, and he got booked to play at that. It was actually like a warehouse party, and literally a warehouse party in the sense that we did it in an old factory where production had stopped a couple years before. The whole vibe was super cool, especially because those things don't happen that much in Delhi. You might be more of like something you see in New York or in Berlin or whatever, London. But we brought that vibe here. He played the main set. We opened for him. And while he was here, we had some time where, you know, we kicked it with him. So we showed him a lot of our like Bollywood remixes, and he's like, yo, let's make one together. So that's the track we collabed on and put out as like an edit. It still pops off like every time we play it. The like b-boy community here are always like breaking to it and stuff. And he's just a really, really cool dude. Like he's super talented, nice guy.
Talented as fuck, dude. Like some of those fucking production remixes he does is like wild.
Yeah, so that's actually a thing. Like he puts out these edit packs, vandalized edits, he calls them. And those are the kinds of things we play in our set. So we've started also making our own like edit packs and putting them out. Because as DJs, at least in this space, it's really nice to have access to all these like, you know, remixes and things that you know, that we can put together.
Dope, dude. Dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
And just thinking ahead, do you have like a roadmap or milestones that you guys are trying to reach over the next couple years, or are you guys just kind of playing it by ear and just doing what you do and keeping things going?
Well, honestly, I would say like we, you know, do a bit of planning and stuff like that for the upcoming year. We're not planning like a 5-year plan or whatever. It's mostly just like, what can we do in this next year? What are the collabs? What are the releases we want to drop? A lot of times you'll have a song that's like 2 years old, and then, you know, you're finally planning to put it out. So it's like getting a release calendar. What shows do we want to do? And what opportunities can this bring? I think it's a pretty unique, you know, space we're in here in India. So I think that, you know, it's good to be open to whatever is possible. And I also think like another thing that, you know, we're maybe going to be able to do is work with local talent here, you know, give them really good beats, work with them to like get their sounding as good as possible. And at the same time, connect with like the Indian diaspora around the world. You know, people like Fijiana do tracks with her, facilitate her coming back here and, you know, maybe doing some shows. AP Dillon, the guy who we went on tour with, he's become super popular. Apparently, you know, like there's talks of the kinds of collabs, you know, he's got in the works. Like, I don't know if it's like a Drake collab, but, you know, things that would eventually lead to that maybe one day. And, you know, just putting this sound on the map in that way where, I mean, Drake's a good example to look at because he borrows sounds from all over the world, right? Like he'll do the UK drill, he'll do the, you know, dance hall, he'll do the like reggaeton. He's like made reggaeton songs.
Dude, in Spanish, which is wild.
In Spanish, and it sounds legit. So the only like region he hasn't gotten to is India, you know? So that I feel like Indian music, you know, or modern Indian music or Indian inspired music could definitely be like, you know, used more commercially, globally in some sense.
Nice.
So yeah, and I mean, dude, we're exploring different genres as well. We made a couple reggaeton tracks. My cousin Risk, who I keep talking about, he actually lives in Ecuador for the past few years. His Spanish is on point. And
there's a song you guys put out, right? That he's like rapping, or at least giving like a couple bars in Spanish, right?
Yo, he does Spanish bars. He does English, obviously, and he does Hindi as well. So to have 3 languages is a lot of tools. You could, you know, rhyme a lot of different things. And the Spanish flows are nice, man. Like, we're working on a song with him called Mimosa, like the drink, but apparently in Ecuador, at least, mosa means mistress. So like my mistress. So he, you know, funny, he does funny concepts, sick flows. Nice. And it's been cool to explore the reggaeton sounds and production.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're on TikTok, but it got me thinking just because of a buddy of mine who I went to college with, he actually does mashups of like Bollywood songs with popular songs. So for instance, like the vocals from the Bollywood song over like, what's that Justin Bieber song he did, the Peaches Out in Georgia one, whatever that one is. Yeah. Like he posts all that on TikTok essentially and like build a pretty big following just off doing that. And since I know you did the Mollywood stuff, I just feel like your guys' stuff would fit super well with that platform.
Dude, I would love to be. The thing is, TikTok is banned in India, bro. Like,
oh,
I don't know.
Shit.
Oh, really?
Damn.
It's totally banned here, bro. So if I want to watch TikToks, I have to watch like compilations on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
So Reels is more popular. Instagram got Reels, so people use that. And the crazy thing is, some of our songs have like gotten more views on Reels than any streaming platform.
Fam, we were just talking about this about like the podcast. Like, bro, like we'll post like a random clip that has like 1,000 views. Like, bro, we're not even saying anything. Like, why is that even popular? Bro? Like,
yeah, but what people do here, what's been really popular is like people will do like a dance routine to a song, and then that will pick up. And I mean, dude, there's been a pretty famous Bollywood actor that did it with one of our tracks. He didn't tag us, which was whack. We kept commenting shit. But like, I think the dance community has like definitely hyped up the Mollywood edits and embraced it in their own way.
Nice. Yeah. So question though, what's in the water that this is such a family affair, right? Because you have Riss, who's fucking been doing it forever. Just that listeners and obviously letting Blair know as well, Riss is fucking super talented. Yet you guys did a performance with Snoop Dogg when he was in town like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. So Snoop came to India for a show. The Reggae Rajas were the group that was opening for him, and Riss got a slot like in their set to drop some bars, which was really cool.
Wow.
Phenomenal. And then your youngest cousin, Akash, is also fucking like almost like a little like a sensation right now, bro. Like it's wild.
Yo, he's doing his thing too, and he's funny, man, because he obviously embraces the artistic aspect of music making, and that's what drives him. But he's also like deep into the marketing and like you know, really pushing his music in every way possible, the business side of things. So I'm not sure, man. I mean, I guess like my brother, you know, he like put me on rap music when I was really young, and me and my cousin Risk, he put us both on it. Risk started like making beats and rapping. I remember spending a bunch of summers with him, and you know, he's super lyrical dude. He's a really good writer in general. So it was inspiring to hear his flows and to hear the shit he was talking about. And you know, like I said, it was just lyrical on a different level. Like I feel like that kind of rap isn't as popular anymore, but when you hear it, it's undeniable. You know, like when you hear really good lines or good bars or just cool rhyme schemes and stuff. For me, I got into the beats right away because I couldn't really write. Like I like rapping, and you know, like you remember this, bro. We'd always be kicking flows and stuff like that. But I know I'm not a good like writer, like lyrically. So I picked up on the music thing and really like focused in on it. And Akash, he, and you know, I guess he just saw us while he saw his two big brothers just doing it, right? He's like, let me be better than them. Yeah. And dude, he, you know, like to be exposed at that age and start doing it is lucky. Like it gives you so much time to like develop your skills. Amazing. Obviously we gotta ask this before we get out of here. Your top 5 rappers all time. Yo, that's we should do top 5 rappers and top 5 producers too, man.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'm down. Let's go. Let's do rappers first.
I don't know if I can put them in the right order, but
no order. Just
That's
5.
fine.
Just 5
Yeah,
that are your top 5, like whatever.
All right, so Dave East. No, I'm playing.
Dave East.
Yo, if he sees this, man, he's
dude, we're gonna tag him all over this shit, dog. He better see this.
Yo, that's funny, man. That's funny. No, I would say Nas is definitely in my top 5. He's got to be in my top 5. Tupac and Biggie. Those 3 hold, you know, like definitely have to hold spots in the top 5. The other 2, it's hard. I go back and forth between different artists. You know, if we're talking lyrical, it's hard to put someone like Kanye, but I know like his contributions, you could put him in the top 5 producer or top 5 rapper.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Which is a crazy feat. I really like Jadakiss. I like Andre 3000. So I guess it's like, for me, the artists that I would include in my top 5 are the ones who I think like lyrically have, you know, a lot to say or are really interesting. I would put Eminem in there as well, but it's hard to, you know, that's always confusing. So if I had to choose for today, for now, let's go with Nas, Tupac, Biggie. Let's go with Jadakiss. I'll put Jadakiss in there. And let's go with Andre 3000.
That's a solid list, bro. No one's pushing back on that one.
No.
Yeah. Y'all got to go too. I'm sure you've already said this maybe on your.
We did on like a while back, but it probably will change for me at least.
Okay. Yeah, it changes. That's okay, man.
Yeah, Blair, go. What's your top 5?
For me, it's more so, it's like a blend of everything. So not based on pure lyricism or even necessarily like from now until forever. It's kind of just like where I'm at now. But I would say definitely Nas is in there. I put Lupe in there.
Okay.
After Lupe, I might have to put, I'll probably put Kanye in there as well.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then the last 2, it's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with, for me at least, Corrupt from the Dog Pound.
Wow.
Oh, yo, Corrupt is nice. He came with Snoop to India for that tour, man.
Oh shit! I think Danny told me about that too.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And then after that, I think I'm gonna go with. I'd probably say I'm gonna go with Fabulous. Fuck it.
Yo, wow. He's definitely I feel like his recent stuff, like he couldn't like continue on the level he was on before. But when he came out, his first few albums, the way he was rapping was so crazy. Like the punchlines, you know, no one had punchlines like that.
Punchlines after punchline king, bro. Like, I remember his first album, Ghetto Fabulous. I had on my mini disc player walking to the bus in India. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bro, like I was just that shit then. Like, and that was like literally like 18 years ago.
That's a classic album, man. And I feel like, that shit is too sick.
Too sick. But actually, I don't mind his recent shit, bro, because I actually enjoyed the album he dropped, I want to say 2 years ago, the one about it's a cold summer, I think.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There's like it's 14 tracks, and there's like 8 that are actually very good. So, but I know what you mean. He's not as famous or popular anymore for the content than just being like a goat in this shit. Dude, mine has honestly been the same top 5 every time we do this, but I'm gonna say it again.
Let's hear it.
First of all, both of you forgot Jay-Z was a rapper. That's cool, but Jay-Z.
I was gonna put him in there too.
Jay-Z.
I thought it was too easy.
Pac is in mine for sure. I got Drake in mine. I got Kanye in mine, and I got Mac Miller in mine. Those are my 5.
Drake is like 10 people though, like all his writers, right?
Bro, come on. It's funny. We can get into a whole time in like Anand's life where he hated Drake. I remember like we went to a basketball game in Miami once, and I played like the Drake and like Nicki Minaj song, and this motherfucker's like, "Yo, you like this fucking guy?" I was like, "Bro, like this."
Yo, I would say I play a lot of Drake in my sets, but I do remember when he first came out, I was like, I think he had a moment in his career where it changed, because he came out and a lot of people fuck with it. You know, he had the R&B rap kind of vibes. He did something different, but he still like felt manufactured and fake and like Nickelodeon, bro. Like it took him a while to really reach a level where he's like, I mean, now the music he puts out, maybe the recent album, I'm not sure how people feel about it, but the stuff he did for a while was definitely changing the game, and I see why people fuck with it.
For sure. All right, top 5 producers, bro. Go.
Producers, yo, this is a good one, man. This is a really good one, because there's like a lot who, you know, are mainstream producers that I think I'd have to put on the list. You got to put Dre, you got to put Timbaland, you got to put Pharrell even. I think Kanye has to be on that list, but that only leaves one spot, which is
crazy.
Hard,
and you have so many like non-popular producers who are fucking insane.
Yeah, man. I would say the 3 that occupy that one spot, I don't know how I'd make a list of 5, but the 3 producers I really like look up to and really fuck with are J Dilla, Madlib, and Knowledge. Those 3, like I almost see them in like one lineage, you know? It's like a lineage. But I really like their sound, and I, you know, learn a lot from hearing their beats, and they're the kind of producers who I'll just listen to their beats. You know, I don't need a song produced by them. I just need a beat tape or whatever.
Yeah,
that's solid list. That's a good list though. So would it be Pharrell by himself, or would it be like Pharrell as a part of like Neptunes?
That's a good question. I would say Neptunes. I think that production's way better, but I don't really know how he works. Like, you know, the song Beautiful he made for Snoop, or like all these hits he's got.
Right. Was it just him or
how does it work?
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, that's a good point. Blair, how about you?
So Tim, Pharrell, and Ye, definitely same top 3. I'd say Pharrell or Neptunes at the top. Like
at the top.
Their
sound is so cool.
Like, like you always know when it's a Neptune beat too, like from day one. Timbaland, he's just like ahead of his time. And Ye, he just knows how to like sample the best shit ever. But right below that, I'd say Hit Boy, like hands down my favorite since then. He's crazy. And like Danny and I talked about this for several episodes, but like he knows how to tap into whatever artists he's working with and have them like reach their full potential and like reinvent them. And then that last spot, it's a super tough one. Someone who comes to mind is Cardo Got Wings. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
What has he made, or who's he produced for?
He mostly works with like Wiz Khalifa. And he has like hard hitting, it kind of sound like West Coast beats.
Yeah.
Hard hitting drums with I don't know, that like old school like bell sound that they used to use, but I like his beats too. They're pretty unique. So that's my top 5.
You said Kenny Beats too. You like Kenny Beats?
Oh yeah, Kenny Beats. He and Cardo like are fighting for
it's hard to place him. He's still early.
Top 5 for producers is fucking hard as shit, dog. It's like that could be so.
You got
hard,
a list though, like what would
you say? I mean, mine would be similar to yours. I mean, Timbaland for sure. I mean, that's our childhood, right? Timbaland.
Yeah.
Pharrell. Actually, I'm not even gonna have Pharrell in mind, because some of his songs I found like very repetitive. Whereas I feel like there was a time in Timbaland's production career where it was just like every song sounded different, but yet you knew it was a Timbaland beat, which is insane. So I'm gonna go Timbaland. I'm gonna go Just Blaze. Again, that was my childhood, bro.
That's fair.
And similar to you guys, bro. Like with MSB, like I've seen him do live sets, bro. Insane live, bro. Because like he'll just do his shit, but then he'll play you where he found the sample from first, and then play. I'm just like, bro, this is fucking next level shit right here.
Yeah.
So Just Blaze. I'm gonna go Hit Boy as well because that's just crazy
Hit Boy
to
been
me.
doing his thing, man.
Yeah, just crazy to me. I'm gonna go Alchemist, just like the legendary level for him. And then, dude, again, just going back to my childhood, bro, I'm gonna go with Swiss Beats. I mean, dude, like Swiss Beats was like our fucking soundtrack to like me growing up in like teenage years. So those 5.
Yeah, man, I like that list. I think it's cool to see how people like Swiss, Timbo, Pharrell have made it. Dre, obviously. I can't believe y'all didn't put Dre in your list, man.
I can't believe he's at least from LA.
Yeah,
I'm not from LA.
So, in LA. So, I mean, Dre's definitely up there for me, but I think similar to what Danny was saying about Pharrell, I mean, I would disagree with that on the Pharrell front, but with Dre, I don't think I enjoyed as much just because a lot of those beats were repetitive, like with the piano and whatnot. But those Dre beats were hard as hell.
Hard as hell.
Dre disappeared for fucking 30 years or whatever.
I know, man. I know. I hope he comes back.
He came back swole as fuck, though.
Dude, that's true, man. It looks like he beat you up now.
Yeah, dude, solid list, bro. Great fucking catching up to you. But obviously, we like to, at the last part of this, we always want people who are on the pod to like plug whatever they got going on, man. So any new releases, any tours coming up, like what's going on for you guys in the near future?
Yo, thank you, man. So I would just quickly say, like, first of all, it was cool to talk to you guys. It was a nice start to the day. It's Friday morning here. I know it's Thursday night. The weekend is still ahead of us. But it was really cool to talk to you both. Y'all definitely got me thinking about some stuff that I don't usually think about or talk about. So it was a really cool opportunity. And yeah, man, I appreciate being on. I guess to the listeners, what I could say is we got MadStarBase. Y'all heard us talk about it on the podcast. We're pretty busy releasing a lot of new music. So throughout the pandemic, we didn't do a lot of shows, but it gave us time to be in the lab and make some stuff. So most recently, we dropped a song called Sanskari Ho. That's out already. If you want to check it out, it's on all streaming platforms. There's a music video coming as well. And one quick thing I'll say really, really quickly about the music video. So in Bollywood music, you tend to see a lot of scenes where it's the dude, chasing a girl or pursuing a girl, and it's all seen through the male gaze. This music video, this whole concept flips that. So in the video, you're going to see Fijiana's perspective on a situation where, there's like a romantic encounter or whatever you want to call it. So it's just cool to flip the switch on all these types of things and see how people react. I think even if you don't speak Hindi or know what Sanskari is, you might enjoy the track because Homegirl's got a nice flow. We also just dropped a song with Akash, with my cousin Aki, we call him. And that's called Red Wire. It's a cool beat, cool song.
Is that one already out or is that one about to drop?
Oh, sorry, it's not out yet. You're right, my bad. We just, the pre-save link is available. It's coming out on the 21st.
Okay.
So that's going to be out soon. And then, early in January, there'll be a couple more tracks. There's one that I'll mention really quickly, which is that it's with a rap crew here in India, in Delhi. They're called Tisri Dunya, which means third world. And they're just 3 really dope MCs, 3 really dope rappers with a different style. And we did a really nice track with them. I think it's very different than the stuff you're hearing in India in terms of hip hop. So I'm excited about all those and everything in the future. We're working on a project to showcase the Risk flows. My cousin Risk is, he's been rapping for really long. He's got music out, but we're trying to do an MSB project where we really produce. We already have the vocals, so we're producing the beat around the vocals instead.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
So we're really trying to animate it, give it space so you can really understand what he's talking about and saying. And yeah, those are some tracks where we're going to be dropping soon.
Amazing, dude. And we're gonna have obviously all of Ace's socials up on the pod on YouTube as well. So all the links will be there as well. I'm glad the listeners will be able to see literally a different world, right? Like this is a different world we're exposing them to, which is fucking why I really wanted to get you on the pod this year.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. It's been dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, my brother. Yeah, it's been a great time catching up, man. So you just stay on, Manan, right? We're going to say goodbye right now to listeners, but we'll catch up with you right after this. Blair, let the people know where they can find the pod, what we got going on. Let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. You can catch the podcast as well as our episodes on audio-theory.com, available on all streaming platforms, with the exception of these last 2 weeks. New episode is available every single week. And please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and if you're an artist or creative yourself and want to get interviewed, just please email us at audiotheorymedia@gmail.com. Otherwise, tune in. Peace.
Awesome, my dude. Peace. Love you both. Be safe.
Love you too. Peace.
Peace.